So do you ever wake up in the morning after hookup staring at the ceiling like, how the hell did I end up here again? It's the same script, a different guy, a different body, but it's the same feeling of emptiness. And if that hit a little too close to home for you, then I recommend you keep watching because this video is definitely for you. And look, I have been there, not just once or twice, but enough to realize something had to change. And if you're watching this, I am betting you are in the same boat. You are tired of these situationships, the guys who ghost, the ones who aren't looking for anything serious right now, but are totally fine wasting your time anyways. You want real connection, real commitment, something meaningful. So let's talk about how to actually break out of the hookup loop, especially in the LGBTQ plus community where the lines between fun and unfulfilling can get really blurry really fast. So I think if we're going to start, a good place to start is naming the pattern. And I wanted to begin this by saying, you're not crazy. You are not needy, and you're definitely not the only one feeling stuck. The dating world, particularly for gay and bisexual men, has some unique challenges. There's a hypersexualized culture. There's hookups. There's heavy app usage, and an entire generation of men still healing from shame, from rejection, from the experiences they had growing up with bullying and just plain trauma. So it makes sense that many of us fall into a pattern of casual dating. It feels safer. It gives us the illusion of connection without the actual risk of intimacy. But if you are craving something real, that pattern becomes a prison for you. So let's ask the real question. What do you want? What do you want? Not what you've settled for, not what your friends think is cool, not what you think will make you look more desirable, but what are your actual relationship values? Is it commitment? Is it monogamy? Is it emotional connection? Maybe you want polyamory or an open relationship with deep emotional connection. Whatever it is, you got to own it. You can't attract what you want if you don't claim it out loud. The other part of this is reflecting, right? And reprogramming a little bit. Now, this is usually where the hard part comes into play. You have to do a deep clean on your dating mindset. So ask yourself, when was the last time I dated someone aligned with what I actually want? Have I ever told someone my true intentions up front from the beginning? Am I clear on my non-negotiables? Do I even know what my non-negotiables are? And here's the thing. People can't meet your standards if you don't have any. If you don't know what it is that you expect or you need out of a partnership, out of a relationship, out of the dating experience. If your dating history is filled with just meh guys, half efforts, and people who weren't even emotionally available to begin with, that's a sign that it's time to reprogram the way that you approach connection. Because when you know what you're worth, you stop negotiating with people who are unsure about you. The other part of this, or the third part of this, is you want to set yourself up for success. And that can be interpreted in many different ways, right? I think people view success differently depending on their personal experiences, who they are as a person, subjective beliefs and opinions. But if you want different results, you need a different strategy. So here's what I would recommend for you if you are trying to approach dating differently. The first thing is just choose one dating app. Delete the rest. Even if it makes your inner validation gremlin start screaming because it's in there just saying, no, I want more. No, give me more. It's not helping you. It's not working for you. And what it's actually doing is that it's holding you back. Too many apps split your attention and confuse your intention. Pick the one that matches your values and you are willing to fully commit to, because that's also the first step, right? If you are expecting commitment out of somebody else, what are you willing to commit to? Are you willing to commit to just trying one dating app at a time? And if one dating app doesn't work for you, great, delete it, move on, try a different dating app, but make sure that they are more serious dating apps. They're geared towards connection and not just casual hookups. When you have a plethora of different apps, once again, it kind of triggers this FOMO, this fear of missing out, like needing to check every single app to make sure that you are maximizing the quantity of people that you are speaking to, but it's not always about quantity. A big part of this is about quality. The second thing is build an honest and complete profile. Stop with like the vague bios and the filtered thirst traps and show up as the actual version of yourself. Use recent photos that show your personality. Answer prompts thoughtfully. Be clear about what you want without sounding like you are scolding people. The goal here is simple. Attract aligned matches and repel the rest. They're not serving you. If you are not satisfied with your physical appearance, right, like your current physical appearance or your mindset or where you are at in your life, change it. You are in control of that, even though it feels like you may not be, you are. So many people I work with will upload photos of themselves from like 3 years ago because they liked that version of themselves. I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you don't look like that anymore, or if you don't perceive the world the way that you did 3 years ago, or if your personality has kind of shifted and changed from that version of yourself that you liked, that means that you are currently a version of yourself that you don't like. And maybe the focus here is getting back to that place where you like yourself, you love yourself. Because that's really where the change is going to happen. That's really when you start to see you attract the right kind of people. And at the end of the day, if you are advertising a version of yourself that is no longer present or exists, or, again, just isn't where you're at right now, that's false advertisement. No wonder you're getting ghosted or not getting a second date, because it's not aligned with the person that you are presenting to the world. You have to ask yourself the question, would I date me? Plain and simple. Would I date me? And if the answer is no, we have some work that we need to do in that department. The fourth thing here is you need to spot the red flags early. Even with a great profile, you're still going to run into red flags. That just happens. It's the nature of dating. I'm sorry to tell you, you're not going to be able to avoid it. But here's what I want you to watch out for, so you have at least some things in your arsenal to combat this, or to be ready for it. Inconsistent messaging. They text you once a week and they act like that's completely normal. Or they will text you and you guys will be talking all day and then they completely disappear and you will hear from them for 2 or 3 days. That's a red flag. They don't put any effort into actually meeting up. They keep the conversation going, but it's always, oh, next week. Yeah, we should meet next week. Oh, my schedule's so busy. Oh, I know that we had this date planned, but something came up and I have to take care of it. I promise. Rain check, X, no. If that continues to happen, the one thing that you can rely on is that they are going to consistently be inconsistent. And what you are looking for is somebody who's going to show up and be consistent in the ways that actually matter and move the needle. They say they're open to something serious, but then they act like they're shopping like at a clearance sale, right? So they're talking to multiple different people. They are not paying as much attention to the conversation that you guys are having because they're distracted by the 17 other conversations that they got going on. That's a red flag. Listen, attraction is great. I understand. It's a very natural thing to be attracted to certain types of people or what your preferences are. But if someone's behavior doesn't match your standards, do not bend. I do not care how hot they are. If they are not aligned, they are a distraction. I will say that again. If they are not aligned with what you are looking for, they are a distraction, regardless of how attractive they are. The fifth thing is you got to stick to your standards even when it's hard. And this is one of the most difficult things to do, right? Because you will be tempted. I promise you that. You will see someone who checks all the boxes. Well, the boxes that you think are necessary to check, that some of them actually might be more surface level or superficial, but they're going to check all the boxes, except the ones that actually matter. And you will think to yourself, well, maybe just this once. No, full stop. Like, absolutely not. That's how the cycle starts all over again. Your boundaries are not flexible guidelines. They are promises to yourself. And every time you uphold them, even when it sucks, you build a level of self-respect needed to attract someone who actually sees you for who you are. You learn to trust yourself, and therefore you learn to trust your judgment, which helps you to filter out the people who are just BSing you. The sixth thing here is learn to pause without quitting, right? Learn to take a break. And let me say this super loud for all the people in the back. Taking a break is not giving up. If you're burnt out, step away from the apps, reconnect with yourself, get clear again on who you are and what you're looking for and what is important to you. The worst thing that you can do is keep dating when you are emotionally depleted. That's when you start lowering your standards. That's when you start tolerating crumbs. And oftentimes that's the experience that you are getting from other people. That is probably why you are experiencing some people who are emotionally unavailable, because they are depleted of their energy when it comes to dating, but they still keep trying. You're getting the worst versions of them as opposed to the best versions of them. So wouldn't you want to present the best version of yourself so that you can connect with somebody on a deeper level, somebody who is on the same level as you when it comes to the amount of energy they are willing to invest in dating? You do not need to delete everything and announce your retirement from dating, right? Just pause, refill your tank, come back when you are whole. And I see this all the time. People will take to social media and talk about how shitty dating is and how men are crap and how dating apps are the worst thing and how they're tired of it. But I guarantee you those same people are going to be re-downloading that app a week later or 2 days later or 6 months later because they're going to get lonely. It's not about the tool itself. It's your utilization of that tool. It's your ability to set boundaries. It's your mindset around dating that really makes the difference. So the real work that has to be done is the internal work. And then the version of yourself that you present to the world is the version that you commit to, that you stand up for, that you support. So you don't allow yourself to drop your standards. The first hot dude that says hi to you, even though he has no intentions of dating you long term. Right? The power of intention is so, so important. And here's what I know from coaching hundreds of men through this process. And yes, hundreds of men. I've been doing this for over 5 years, coaching in regards to dating and relationships and self-esteem and that kind of stuff. When you approach dating with intention, when you approach it with honesty, when you approach it with confidence, you stop chasing connection and you actually start to create it. Breaking the casual dating cycle is less about the people you meet and more about the choices that you make every step of the way. So choose to stand in your worth. Choose to be clear. Choose to hold your vision even when it feels impossible, because that relationship you are craving, it starts with how you date yourself first and foremost, right? So if this resonated with you, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're at in your dating journey. Maybe you're single. Maybe you're in a relationship. Maybe you've reached your breaking point when it comes to dating. Maybe you are super excited about dating. Whatever the case may be, let me know. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you're really ready to unpack and try to figure out the dynamics here and how to leverage them to work in your favor, if you're tired of the cycle and you're just really ready to find a connection with somebody, check out the link in my bio. It's a free 20-minute discovery call. I'd love to support you. I'd love to have a conversation with you and hear where you are at on your journey and how I can support you moving forward. And also click the link in my description or the description of this video. I will leave it down there. It's the link for a wait list to a new community that I am building. This community is not like anything else out there. It is specific for gay and bisexual men who are looking for real connections with other men, whether that be platonic or romantic, and are having difficulty on the apps or meeting people out and about, right, in the wild. One of the biggest things that I hear from a lot of the clients that I work with is, okay, great, I've done the work, I've connected with some people, this is great, but is there a resource where like-minded men can come together? So that is what I am currently working on. Please do not forget to like, to subscribe, and to share this with someone who you feel needs it. It just helps the channel to keep going. It helps me to continue to have these conversations, which I love having with you guys. And yeah, so I hope you guys have an incredible day, and I will see you in the next video.